Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday afternoon. I hope wherever you are in some air conditioning, because here in Texas, it is hot. It is so hot. But I'm sitting in front of my window where I do my lives, and it's a beautiful sunny day. Hi, Jennifer. And just getting ready to, I'm so ready for fall. I really am just so ready for fall. So I decided for this month, the monthly cards are going to be kind of fallish, because from this point on, I'm just ready for some cooler weather. I'm going to see if that little wave works. I don't know if it waved, Jennifer, but I hit the little button. But thank you guys for joining me this Sunday afternoon. Hey, Stella. I'm actually from McKinney. So that's my, I did a wave, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for joining me. Jessica you're in Ohio, right? I think you're in Ohio. And I think one of my uncles is in Chicago area. But yeah, I'm so over this heat. It's not even funny. So I don't know if you saw a few weeks ago, I did a little sample of the fall sampler class for September. And then I decided to do August, even though fall isn't technically until next month, almost the end of next month. So, but I do thank you for joining me wherever you are. My name is Barbara Ragsdale, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, we are a paper crafting company, and we have basically everything that you would need in order for all your paper crafting needs. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're an avid stamper, or just an occasional stamper, there's something for everyone. And if you have problems with color coordination, Stampin' Up really makes it easy for you to do your projects and do your cards or do your home decor or whatever you're working on, because we have cardstock, we have designer series paper, ribbons, accessories. Things are bundled together. Things are put in suites, or things are available in suites. So if you want a whole suite of products that are going to coordinate with each other, there's that option as well. We also have kits that are super easy to put together as well. So if you're looking for something from a kit standpoint, we have kits in the annual catalog. We have some in our holiday catalog that you all will be able to see in a couple of days, finally. I know I've been teasing y'all for at least the last month, but can't help it. It's exciting. So, and I'm ready for Christmas too, but I want to get fall out of the way. I really do. But in any case, thank you for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and do some announcements before I forget, because I do have some quick announcements, and I knew this would take just a few minutes, and about 10 minutes of your time, and then I'm going to get started on the cards. And just know that I went ahead and did all of the prep work for all of the cards. So all of the embossing, all of the die cutting, that way I wouldn't have to bring the big shot out, and I could speed this up, because I do want to try to be done in about an hour. So like I said, new month, new host code, new classes, new online ordering special. So I have an online ordering special every single month, and if you purchase $25 or more directly from my website, you get a kit to make that month's cards. And when I point the camera down, you're going to see the kit that you would get, and there's a lot of die cutting, so most of it is going to be done for you if you earn this kit for free with a little bit of stamping. And with the online kits, you do have to own the stamps or any of the inks colors. So think about that. If you ever see from month to month some products that I'm showing, and you need help ordering that, just let me know, and then I can assist you with ordering. And if you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with already, I would always appreciate your business, and want to show you how you can be crafty too. And you actually can make things that are in the catalog, just so you know. Most people that don't think they're crafty don't realize it until they have someone show them how to do it. You can do this, so I just want you to know that. But the August monthly online ordering special, we're going to be working today with a returning favorite. This actually was in our catalog, a holiday catalog, last year, and it returned. And I know it's probably going to be backwards, but we're working with Gather Together, which is a fall stamp set. It's photopolymer, and then there's also coordinating dies that go with it, and you'll see that once I point that down. So just know that that's the monthly special, and in a couple of days, I know I sent out a communication last night to anyone that's on my email, and I posted a Facebook post as well about the new store that we're going to be having. So if you regularly order from me online or you browse online, you're going to notice a whole fresh new look with our online store, and lots of upgrades, technology upgrades and features. So go back to either my blog or my Facebook page. Hi Lisa. And go check that out. Go read everything about that. That way when that time comes and we have a new store, go test it and make sure that you can get in properly, because that way your online ordering won't be interrupted with any kind of technical difficulties. And I can either help you with that through our demonstrator support, or you can reach out to demonstrator support email, and that's in the email as well. So tomorrow is also the last day for bonus codes. So if you did any shopping in the month of July through tomorrow, for every $50 that you spent, you received a $5 bonus code from Stampin' Up! That you could use in August. And you can start to use those codes August the 4th, which is Tuesday, which is the same day that the holiday catalog gets released. So there's still time to earn those bonus codes. If you place an order today or tomorrow and it's at least $50, they will automatically email you the code in order to use in August. And if you don't use it by the end of August, it's gone. So just make sure you use it. Those are all those announcements. And then tomorrow also is the deadline for the holiday share. So if you were thinking about participating in a product share, whether it was paper, ribbon, or any of the accessories, go to my blog and you'll see a whole page that has literally all the information about how to RSVP and participate in a product share. And so there's that. And then we still have time to another week, almost another week and a day to sign up for your paper pumpkin. So if you're not familiar with paper pumpkin, it's a monthly subscription, paper kit subscription that you get delivered to your mail box every single month. The deadline to sign up each month is the 10th. So come here on August the 10th. That's going to be the deadline for the next, the August box. I think it's the August box. I get mixed up because it's the middle of the month, but it's for like the next month's kit. So anyway, the next month. And that one is going to be the one that celebrates life's champions. So if you're interested in signing up for Paper Pumpkin, you can go straight to my blog or my website. And my blog has a complete page about being a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. You can get them in 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and year increments. And I want to say if you buy the year, you get like a month free, but that's all prepaid. And you can cancel at any time. So if you want to check out Paper Pumpkin, you can subscribe for just a month, see what it's all about. It literally has all the supplies that you need in order to make that kit for the month, whether it's cards or projects. And sometimes they're really super cute, and sometimes they're really super popular that they sell out. So I would just suggest giving it a try, just so that you can see what Paper Pumpkin is all about. And it's like Christmas every single month when it comes to when you open up your mailbox, and there it is. So that's what's pretty exciting about it, is we kind of have an idea from month to month what it's going to be, but we never actually get to see it until we have it in hand and get to see for ourselves what it's all about. So just remember, there's no obligation to continue your subscription. So, but the 10th is August the 10th is the deadline for that one. And then the last one, no, I had two more. I know I sent out a communication a couple of days ago, maybe 3 days ago, about the sales tax holiday weekend. And if you're not on my communication list, just leave me an email. You can message me on Facebook and just leave me your email, and then I can get you on that, because I send a lot of these communications out every week, sometimes a couple a week, every other week kind of thing, just so that you're aware of all of the upcoming things for Stampin' Up, and then for myself as well. So believe it or not, there is a whole list. I know it's backwards, but it's a whole page. There is a whole list of things that Stampin' Up sells that are eligible for the no tax, the school tax, what do they call it, tax-free weekend. And there is, it's Arkansas, Florida, MA, is that Massachusetts? Missouri, New Mexico, Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. And then there's some states that were participating before, but for some reason they're skipping a year. So sorry if you live in those states, and I don't have it in front of me, but it was in that communication, because I know those people are probably looking forward to that, and it's not going to happen this year for them. And so, but anywhere between our adhesives, markers, chalk markers, watercolor pencils, journaling pens. When I said all kinds of adhesives, that refers to like our seal products, the dimensionals, foam adhesive strips, glue dots, liquid glue, even our grid paper and our paper snips. So there's a whole list on there. So if you want to be in the know, just sign up for my email communication list, and you get all the details anytime something comes out. So, but for Texas, we're in Texas, and ours does not start till the 7th through the 9th, and it looks like for most of them, it's the 7th through the 9th of October. But Tennessee is already participating in it, and I think today's their last day. They started on July 31st, and it runs through today. So, and then I think it's Arkansas. Started yesterday and ends today. So if you're not sure, go find that post and go check it out. And then the last thing before I get to the drawings for last week is, I want to remind you, I know it's backwards, October retreat in the Texas Hill Country. There is a retreat that is so far scheduled, unless COVID has some different plans for everyone, but it's a weekend retreat in the Texas Hill Country at Mountain Laurel Retreat in New Braunfels. And guys, it's gorgeous. So if you go to my blog, you can read all about what you're going to get if you attend live. But if you can't go, just know that there is a to-go option as well. And it'll list everything you get as a to-go option. So I want to say the final sign up is in September, so we still have a little time, and there are a few spots left, literally just a few. So if you're interested in coming to a retreat or taking one of my retreats to go, just let me know. You can go to my blog and RSVP from there, or you can RSVP straight from my Stampin' Up website as well, because it's on the events calendar. So Jessica asked, do you go live and do this every Sunday? Yes, I do. And I'm not trying to be funny about this, but even if I feel bad, and those of y'all that were with me last week know I probably looked horrible and I sounded horrible, but I was going to get these cards and this little project done. So yes, I would literally have to be laid out in bed to not show up. But and even when I'm not available, there's only been one time, and that's when I went to a retreat back in May. I pre-recorded the video, and it posted at 3 o'clock that afternoon. So I just do it a little early, but something will always be here every Sunday at 3 p.m. If it's not me, it'll be pre-recorded. So anyway, let's do some drawings. If you were watching last week, you know we used the stamp set Game On, and we did We did 3 cards. I know these are backwards, you guys, and I know that's a lot of light coming out of that window. Hope you can see that one. There we go. And then there was this little pizza box. And if you remember, I have my sample right here, but if you remember in the pizza box, we decorated it, and inside was, it's large enough to put a full set of cards and then a whole little 5-pack of dice, or die. I think that's the plural of it, but anyway. So I'm giving away the box and the 2 cards, not the plain cards and the dice or die. That was just for show and tell. And anybody that jumped on and liked, commented, shared, hello. I don't know if that's my Uncle George or my Aunt Sochi. Hey, it's our Uncle George. It's nice to you to join me this afternoon. So we're going to do the drawing for the projects that we did last week. So that's how you win. You watch my videos, you like, you comment as we're going along. If you share, you have to let me know share, because Facebook doesn't give me a complete list of everybody that shared. So so I got everybody in here, and let's just draw one name, make sure just one of them came out. And I know it's backwards, so you might be able to see it this way maybe, I don't know. It says Patricia Works. So if you are Patricia Works, I'm not sure. No, I know. I don't know. I don't think Patricia's ever won anything before. So Patricia, you won the projects that we did last Sunday, and all I need is a mailing address. So if you are watching this or watching the replay, if you will message me your mailing address, I will get these prizes out to you tomorrow. So thank you, Jessica, for sharing. So let me put Patricia's prizes off to the side. I had fun making that box though, by the way. That was a cool idea, to be able to gift someone that likes to play cards. Okay, so let me get all this out of the way, and then we will get started on our cards. So let me go ahead and point the camera down so you can see the cards that we're going to be making. So let me get ready to get up and point this thing down. Oh, by the way, I have a new shirt. Be creative. It's Rhonda Wade's son has, I think it's her son, has a store, an Etsy store, where he does shirts like this. And I have like an olive color. And then when I saw the Calypso color come out, I was like, we have a color named Calypso Coral. So I was like, I had to get it. It's nice and fresh, and it makes me feel cool. So anyway, let's get started. There we go. Y'all can see the cards. Try to move the light a little bit. Nice, the shirt or the cards? I hope the cards and the shirt. The shirt's cool too. We do have a Calypso Coral color though. I'm not lying on that. But here's the stamp set that we're using again, and you're going to see some of the dies. Their dies are in here already, but it's gathered together. This was in our catalog last year, and it came back. So I was kind of glad to see it come back. So I wanted to give it another month to itself, because I know I did one last year. But these are the 4 cards that we're going to be making today. This one says Season of Thanks, Wishing You Well, Gather Together. I might have posted this one on my blog before, I'm not sure. And then this was a simple one, So Glad to Have You in My Life. So we're gonna start with this one and work our way that way. And you can see all that die cutting that's involved in these cards. So just know that when you place the online order and it's $25 or more, you can get the kit free, all the card and everything die cut and embossed, and the ribbon, any accessories that you see, you get all that included in your kit. You just have to make sure that you have the stamp set and the ink, because the kit you're going to be getting has all of this already die cut, so you have the choice of getting just the stamp set and the dies, or just the stamp set. If you get both of them together, it's a bundle price, and you end up saving 10%. But so you have a couple of options. And the kittens are starting to wake up, so hopefully they will be quiet while I'm doing this. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me put these off here. This one is pretty simple. Well, I think it's pretty simple. The colors that we're using on this one, let me grab my supplies. So we have a very vanilla base. We have a crumb cake matte, the very first matte, and then this is designer series paper that comes from oh goodness, the Gilded Autumn Specialty Designer Series paper. So I thought that this side was real fallish, so our designer series papers both sides come in something, and this is a specialty paper only because the other side has like a gold or a foil shiny look about it. So when our papers are matte like this on both sides, it's just regular designer series paper, but when it's stepped up a little and has some bling to it, it's called specialty paper. So we have that. Then we have our leaves that I've gone ahead and stamped. There is a stamp for this, and then a die cut, and then there's just more leaves, but that is this crumb cake. That's Cajun Craze, the color, and then this is mint macaron. And then I went ahead and cut out two just in case I have a boo-boo on one of them. And then the ribbon we're using is from the Forever Greenery Trim Combo Pack. And I love this ribbon. It is so soft. It is so soft, and it's very vanilla, so it coordinates with what we're doing. Just like these colors that you see in the designer series paper, they all coordinate. This is your early espresso. That's your mint macaron, your Cajun Craze, and then you've got a sprinkle of some crumb cake in there with these little brown ones. That's what our color coordination is all about. So we do our best to help you with that piece. So all we're doing is we're going to fold our base, and our base is basically just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that's cut in half, and depending on how you cut it, depends on how your card will open. If it will open, you know, sideways, or if you want it to be landscape, you can open it that way. Or if it was this way, it would be long. It would open up like this card right here. It would open up this way. So there's lots of ways you can make your cards depending on your preference. Let me get this scored a little bit more. And I'm just using the bone folder to help score that edge down. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our little stamping out of the way. And because these are photopolymer stamps, I should be fine because my desk is really hard underneath there, but I still like to always put a foam mat under there just to help. And that's the kittens. There's kitten fight club going on behind me, so they woke up from their nap, and they are just, they start playing, and before you know it, I start hearing squealing, and then they're fighting, just like kids, I guess. So I'm inking this up with mint macaron. And I think last night I was like, I think I need to re-ink my mint macaron, but get that down. Just season of thanks, just something real simple. And I'm done with mint macaron. That's the only ink we're going to be using for this one. And then I'm going to set that aside, and we'll go ahead and start building our card. Before we put it on, though, I do have to make sure that I'm going to go back and fix that piece. That way it comes to the edge a little bit more. There we go. I do have to make sure that, oh, I hate it when I do that. Hold on, I'm gonna put that aside for now. And I'm gonna put the adhesive on the back of this side right here, because I'm talking at the same time. I forget sometimes what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'll completely skip a step. That's why with our tutorials, it can be, I put adhesive on the back of this side, and I should not have, because I need to put this on there first and then put the ribbon on. So when you have a card like this, you want to make sure that you do follow the steps. But like I said, I'm talking at the same time when I'm doing this, so I'm gonna, it sticks on there. And then I'm gonna take this ribbon, and I'm gonna take just a little bit of it, just enough to straddle it over the edge for it to catch on. And I might have to put a little more right here and a little more right there so it catches on. But you'll see, and this is some sticky seal. It's a new adhesive that we have. And then we're just going to kind of like a, oh goodness, my fingers are sticking. Just fold it over on one side and make sure that it hits that adhesive. And then this other piece, just bring it over and then make sure, well, of course it doesn't on there. So let me put some more on this side. I think I did it the wrong way, but that's okay. Excuse my fingers, they keep sticking. There we go. So that's what you want to see. Whenever you have to put ribbon, wrap ribbon around your cardstock, you just want to make sure there's enough adhesive where that ribbon folds over so that it actually sticks. And so I have plenty of adhesive all the way around, so now we can actually put that piece on the card. And just make sure it's centered, and then when you have it where you want it, then you can kind of help press it down. And then as far as the leaves, I've got these leaves. I've got two of them that are kind of the same. Excuse me. If you want to rough them up a little bit, you can. If you want, you can actually, like, you know, roll them in a, like you're going to roll up a piece of paper and throw it away, and then just unroll it. And that helps kind of break up the fibers and just makes them look like they have some dimension to them as well. Okay. And the same thing with these. That way they're not all just flat on your card. You can rough them up a little bit. You can use the middle of the leaf as a guide when you're folding it, maybe. And same thing with this one. I think I did this one a little bit last night and then I stopped. And you'll see. So then now we're going to put those on. And I'm going to put this on with some glue dots. And I want to get some glue dots on the back of this. And I want to put several of them, only because this is holding down all the other ones. So I put several of them on there. And I'm going to stick that right there. That way it sticks. And then we'll do the crumb cake one. And I'm going to put a couple of them on there too. And just start building it. Just start building your leaves. I want that one to go there. And then we'll get the mint macaron one. I'm not looking at comments right now, so if you're joining me after we got started, thank you for joining me. Yeah. And then this Cajun Craze leaf, we're going to put some glue dots in the middle of that. We're going to stick that one in the middle. And then our sentiment, I'm going to attach it with some dimensionals, and we have a couple of sizes of dimensionals. We have these larger ones, and then we have the mini ones, and then we also have them available in black as well. And we're actually going to be using some black ones in one of the other cards because the colors we're using are kind of dark. And you can see the dimensionals when you turn it sideways like that. But on dark paper, if you don't want white dimensionals to be showing, you can use the black ones, and that just helps cover it. So I know you can see there's some dimension to this card already. Hi, Casey. Oh, the wave thing worked. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. We are making some fall cards because we are just sick and tired of this hot Texas weather over here. And then I'm going to take the same ribbon and just go ahead and make a bow. And bear with me. My nails started breaking, and then now I already had issues with grasping some things, and now I feel like I'm working with just the ends of fingers now. I like to make my bows on the roll. That way I can adjust them however I need to and then cut it, and it keeps from wasting too much ribbon. Get that one down. Where'd that come from? Ooh, that was rough. Okay, so let me cut that. And then I'm going to attach it with more glue dots. Glue dots and dimensionals are your, and I'm trying not to touch it, but I want it to get on there. When you touch the glue dots or the dimensionals with your bare fingers, some of the oils from your finger get on there and take away the stickiness. And then I'm going to leave that like that, but I am going to trim it. How did I trim that one? Oh, I trimmed it down like that. Then after you get that on there, you can just trim your ribbon however you want with the angles to go. That should be out like a little bit more. There we go. So there is card number 1. This is the sample that I did last night, and then this is the sample that we just put together. And it's cute. Nice fall colors. Got some leaves going. There's nothing on the inside because it's a very vanilla base, and if you decided to stamp a sentiment on the inside, you would be able to see it because the paper is light enough. So there's card number 1. Now, card number 2. We'll do this one. We've got some colors. Let me get the supplies for that. And like I said, everything's already done, so we're going to save some time putting these things together today. And this is the sample that I did last night. I'm going to keep this sample because there's a boo-boo on here, and you may see it and you may not see it, but I know it's there, and it's right there. When I used the scrap piece of paper to do this, it was very close to something that was imaged, like stamped, and I thought I had gotten it all, but I didn't. But I was just too lazy to go back and fix it. So it's a homemade card. They're not supposed to be perfect, and neither not two are alike if they're homemade. So the colors we're working with on this one is we're working on crumb cake, mossy meadow, and very vanilla. And then in the card itself with the greenery, I used some of the greenery from the Flourishing dies from the Forever Greenery set because I wanted some more greenery in it. So I took this die from another die set and then these leaves and did these in Cajun Craze and these in crumb cake, just to add some more greenery to the greenery that's already in the Gather Together. And then all these leaves here are done in Mossy Meadow. And you can see they have, the dies have leaf impressions in them. I hope you can see that. Try to move there you go. So all of the leaves, except for this one, and this one's a stamp, but it's a large die cut. Same thing that with the other ones. Let's go ahead and do our stamping, and I have an extra one just in case, and we're going to stamp that sentiment in Cajun Craze. By the way, there's my Stampin' Up website and the blog spot. The new, let me find my stamp. Wishing you well. Here we go. The new online store that comes out on the 4th, we were told that you should not have any problems logging in unless, hold on, let me get this on here. Let me make sure it's centered. So everybody cross your fingers and cross your eyes that I center this right the first time. That's what I like about these photopolymer stamps. You can actually see where you're going to be stamping. So there we go. But you're not supposed to have any problems logging in unless you rely on your current browser to remember your passwords. So, but if you have any problems, you can always reach out to me. But that's still going to be my website address. There's my blog, so if you're interested in a bunch of different things and want to see some details. Hi, Sherry. There, I waved. You can go to my blog spot, and then this is the host code that I was talking about earlier for the August special for the cards that we're making. So, and then this piece of crumb cake we're going to fold long way. So this is basically an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that's been cut in half vertically in order to get a card that folds like this. And I'm just folding it over. Use our bone folder. These are bone folders. They're hard and they help with the creases. It's a nice portable method to, other than taking your trimmer everywhere. And on this one, we're really going to be doing matting. Yeah, the kittens are really going at each other now. I don't know if y'all can hear those in the background. I fed them before we got out here, so. But this card is going to open sideways. So you can have your card either open like this or like this. And this one we're going to open sideways. So I'm going to turn it sideways and start building these mats. Make sure it's centered. And then this piece of Very Vanilla has already been embossed with the wood grain embossing folder. And I love to see how the different designs are embossing folders, what they can do. They really do help with the paper when it comes to giving it some kind of design and texture. And we have lots of embossing folders, so let's get that on there. And you can hear it, it's really sticky. And this is just the regular seal. We have a Seal Plus that's even stickier, that's designed for heavier projects or cards, 3D items. So there's our base on there. And then we're going to start building our little bouquet over here. So let me get rid of some of those. And here we go. Let's see if I can get that on there. I'm going to get a couple of them on there since this is holding down most of them. There we go. And then we're going to put the Cajun Craze ones down next. And I'm trying to get these glue dots on an area that has some kind of substance with paper so that it sticks. Okay. And then we're going to do the other side, and I can see on this one there's a little part that I need to poke out on there that didn't come out. Okay. I'm going to end up putting some more glue dots down like under here and up here just to help, because these could easily get caught on something. Let me move that down a little more. There we go. And my fingers are all sticky already. And then we're going to do these green ones, and these just happen to be I think they're all the same. No, they're not. Two are the same and one is different, but I'm going to do all of them at the same time. Just kind of rough them up a little bit. That way they have some dimension once they get down on your paper. Or if you want to lay them flat, you can lay them flat. But I'm all about some dimension here. So let's do that then. The two that are alike, I'm going to put on either side here. I'm using 2 glue dots, and my fingers keep sticking. That way it peeks out behind this big one that we're going to put in the front. And another one. Oof, sticky. And then we're going to put this one and then the other one on top. So we're going to do the same thing with this leaf. You can crumble it up too, like I said earlier. This helps break up the fibers and give the paper something extra. So let me get those on there. We're going to cover that. And then this one is going to go right in the front. And then we'll put our sentiment on. And then I have, where to go? Our linen there. And then a couple of dimensionals on the back of that. Or one. You can put one in the middle. And we'll get that over here. Down in this bottom right corner. And then with our linen thread, which mine is all sorts of messed up, but it doesn't roll off that easy for me. And I'm just going to measure this because I'm going to do a double bow. So I measured this about, I think it's about 18 inches. And I always, to do my double bows, I fold the linen thread in half once I can grab onto it. You think it would be sticking directly to my fingers since I've got all this glue on my fingers. And then I'm going to cut it in half right here. And then I'm going to make my bow. That one actually looks okay the first time. If it was long, I would just trim it like I trimmed the rest of the ribbon. And then guess what? More glue dots to help hold this thing down right here in the middle. So see what I was saying? If this linen trim was like super long and hanging off the cards, I would just trim part of it off. But some of that's the end. It still wants to curl. We'll just do that. And then because it's crumb cake on the inside, I went ahead and cut an extra piece of Very Vanilla so that we could get, if you wrote a sentiment or something on the inside, it would show. Oh, here we go. Or if there's a note that you want to write. We'll get that centered on the inside. You can hover it around, that way you can see that it's going to be even around the edge. Or if you're a ruler person, you can grab out your ruler and make sure that it's exactly the same all the way around. But I think you'll be able to wing it and eyeball it. So some of these flowers over here, like this one right here, I'm just going to grab a glue dot and stick that behind there. Well, it's stuck to my hand. It's stuck to my finger. There we go. I'm trying to get that behind this larger piece right here. That way it kind of stays down. So if there's any that are popped up too much that might catch on something, you can just put a glue dot back there. I think I might put one back here. I don't know where it's going to go when I put it on there, but it'll help wherever it lays. And it just kind of helps hold it down. So there is card number 2. Wishing you well. I love the colors. I love the color. I love fall colors. I love when the leaves start turning different colors and start falling off trees and stuff. Jessica asked, what is that you're using, that like glue dot? This right here, this is our take your pick tool. And this actually is a multi-purpose tool. Let me open my drawer here. This piece has several pieces to it. Make sure I got all the pieces out. The original one, that when you buy it originally, it has this feature in it. So one side is like a paper piercer, and the other side has, mine's messed up because I keep turning it and it keeps coming out, but there's a refill for this piece. But it helps pick up sequins. It's just a small little adhesive that helps pick up tiny sequins and things like that, and helps place them wherever you're on your projects. But this piece actually comes off, and then there's a die brush along with another pad that you can use for your dies, and you just unscrew that one, screw that one on. And when you have a real intricate die, after you've die cut it, you run through it on that foam that it comes with, and it helps pop all the little pieces out so that you're not sitting there poking, you know, one piece out at a time. And then this other piece over here is basically two-sided. You have a little spatula, so if you're trying to get up underneath something and pick something up, or whatever you would use a little spatula for. I haven't used mine yet, but I use my paper piercer part a lot. So depending on what side you want to use, you just switch it out. And then the other piece that comes with it is when you're doing scoring on a scoreboard. So you've got two different sides of, depending on what you're doing on your scoring. And you just put that in. And if you want the smaller one, you just take it out and flip it over and lock it. So that's what that is. These are $10. And then this piece right here, this brush, and the other piece is, I can't remember, but it's a few dollars more. But everyone should have at least a take your pick tool, the basic one at least. So there's card number 2. Let's get that off the side. And we're gonna do a real simple one, and then we're gonna get to the big bad daddy one that had all that that die cutting. I did that card just randomly not too long ago, but I was like, I was trying to search for another idea. Oh, where's my card? Here we go. We're gonna do that one. And I was so exhausted last night. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna even try to think of another card. So that's one I thought, you know what, let me just do this one, even though it's got a lot of die cutting on it, so, and a few extra steps. But when you get the free kit online, it does come with a tutorial. That way you don't have to go back and look at the video. You can just look at paper and see the steps that need to be done. So Jessica asks, so can you buy that as well through your catalog? Yes, you can. That catalog is jam-packed with, yeah, that one opens that way. That catalog is jam-packed with everything that you need. Everything you see here that I'm using is in that catalog. The stamps, bone folders, take your pick tools, inks, acrylic blocks, adhesives, you name it, it's there. And the only colors we're using on this one, we're going to use a crumb cake base, and then there's a crumb cake mat on top of that. So it looks like it's the same piece, but it's really not. Just helps give it a little dimension, and we're going to be doing some stamping on that. I use the oval dies, the scalloped oval dies for this, and then the leaves from the Gather Together die set. Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, Mint Macaron, and Cajun Craze. And then this ribbon is from, I can't remember the pack it comes from, but it's the pack for the Gilded Autumn Suite. So let's do our stamping. And this really just has like a background to it. I don't know if you can see that, but there is some flecks back behind there just to give it something back there. And that's what we're going to be doing with Cajun Craze. And here is, and I stamped off on that one. So if you aren't familiar with the stamp off technique, what it does is I'm stamping this full strength with Cajun Craze, and when you stamp it, it's dark, but then when you stamp the next image, it's a lot lighter. That's what I'm doing on this, and I'm just going to kind of do a circular just randomly. Doesn't have to be perfect, because a lot of this is going to end up getting covered up. Just randomly. do that one some more, and then do this one some more. One more. There we go. So that just kind of adds a little splatter to the back of that. And then let me leave that out. And I want to show you too, this is what happens when you press your acrylic block too deep into the spongy ink pad. You get ink all over your block. So if you were going to put this down, which I'm not going to do it on that, but if I did like that and I pushed it up like that, you would see some of that ink transferred to the paper. We don't want that. So let me get a, well, thought I had some, there you go. I'm going to get a napkin and just wipe some of that off. Because you don't want those pieces to show up on your cardstock. And then anytime we cut anything out with a die cut or even a punch, you'll be able to see what is the nicer side and what's the back side. So you just want to make sure you're stamping on the right side. And this one says, "So glad to have you in my life." And we're going to ink that up with some Cajun Craze. And we're just going to center it. Let's see if y'all can see that. Give it just a little pressure, no rocking, and then bring it straight back up. And then before we, I'm done with this, so let's put that away before I get ink on everything. So let's go ahead and put some things together. We're going to put this mat that we just did onto our crumb cake mat base. Get that centered. And then we're going to put this piece right on next. And you can't see it from that card, but there's a little cheating going on the back because it looks like a full piece of ribbon, but it's really not. And it just helps to keep from wasting any ribbon. And get my scissors. I'm going to cut off 2 small pieces of this ribbon. So in the kit there will be 2 small pieces, but before I put that down, I'm going to put some I'm going to put some snail down so that these pieces actually stick in there. Now my fingers are going to start sticking, but you want to put this to where it looks like it's poking out, and then the other one the same thing on the other side, so that it looks like it's I should move that over a little bit. Let me move that over. There we go. Sorry, my fingers are sticking to that now. And then let me turn that over. And then I'm going to cut 2 other pieces. I guess you could really use 1 piece if you wanted to, but it may end up being the same, but it's just an illusion. See, they take that and then grab that and pull it back, and then pull it back there to make sure that it looks like it came out of the same. This loop was a little bit larger than the one I did in my sample, but that's okay. And then same thing with that. Get that in there. Let me take some of that off, that is kind of long. And loop that back around. Ooh, sticky. I'm not too crazy about that long one. Let me take some of that off. So you can see it looks like it loops. Hold on. Okay, so that's the back side. Everything's done there. I'm trying to fix this top one. Too crazy about that. Technical difficulties, you guys. But really what it's supposed to look like is the ribbon is going sideways, but mine's not going sideways on this one. I don't know if I had problems last night either. We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it. Okay. Before this stickiness gets all over me, which it already is. And then we're going to put that in the middle. And then these leaves, These leaves are actually all the same. Oh, I have an extra one in there. I'm sure I got an extra one in there. And just like the other ones, we're going to rough those up as well. If you spray them with water too, it also helps. Not like a lot, but with our spritzers, it actually helps break up the fibers more. And you can actually separate the layers of paper that way. I've only done that once, but I thought it was kind of cool. Let me do this mint macaron one. I think the kittens went back to sleep. Just get those on there. Not sure where that one came from. Okay. Yeah, I know y'all can probably tell I'm feeling a lot better this weekend. That migraine kicked my booty last week. Go. Get that on there. Just randomly. There's no rhyme or reason on these. Okay, well, there's card number 3. The loop looks a little different, but then again, I think what I'll do is, because I think I like this loop a lot better, is I'll end up giving the better looking one away. And you know what? I do have, before I give it away, I'm going to cut another piece of Very Vanilla and put it on the inside, just because it needs one. So, but there's card number 3. Cute. Now, it's nice and simple, just a few things. I couldn't come up with just a simple stamping one with the leaves or the pumpkins or anything like that. So I just thought, well, let me just do this something simple. So there's that one, card number 3. And then the last card is this one, and it's got some weight to it because it's got a lot of things going on with it. So here we go. Trying to think. I'm looking for something real quick. I want to say the gray. Uh-oh, something fell. It was one of the kits that was hanging over the edge here. I didn't see it. But we're dealing with early espresso. And I went ahead and scored it, but I didn't flatten it down more. So let me do that. But we've got early espresso, and I'm pretty sure this is gray granite. This one goes on the inside. I went ahead and embossed this one as well. And then this paper is actually from All in Good Taste. And you can see this other side has kind of these designs, and this one has a like a picket fence wood grain look to it. I thought that fit pretty good. It doesn't match the one that I did in the sample because it's a different sheet, but they all vary. You're not going to see the same sheet unless it's a duplicate sheet be the same color. So, but it's original. And so early espresso, gray granite. We got some mossy meadow leaves in there, as well as some crumb cake leaves and early espresso. For these, I had to use our circular dies. And this is a gold hoop. That's one of the accessories in the annual catalog. So we'll put that one together. And you can see there's a lot going on. That's why I decided to go ahead and do all the dies and embossing beforehand. So let's get this piece on. This is our wood grain embossing folder. I used it in what, the first card, I think? Yeah, the second card. Yeah, I used it in the second card. So let's get that on. Get that centered. And then you rarely will see the inside of that because it's going to get covered up with that one. So all you really see is what's around the edge, which is okay. You don't necessarily have to do that because you're not going to see a whole lot of it. Oh, goodness. It's sticky, y'all, I'm telling you. And then get that centered on there. And then we'll go ahead and put our pumpkins on. But before we do that, all I did was I brought out the light Mossy Meadow blend, and we're going to use the little paintbrush tip side, which you could use the other one. And I am just going to do the little stems to the pumpkins. I'm not going to paint the pumpkins, I just want the stems to have some color. There we go. And then this is where I want to use the black mini dimensionals. Put that on there, and I'm going to put one on each one of these here. That way you don't see white underneath it. Well, hi, Darla. I didn't think I would see you. You and you're vacationing over in Colorado, probably where it's a lot cooler than it is here in Texas. I'm glad you could join. I'm doing the easy parts of this card first before I get to all those leaves. And then all we're going to do is put these pumpkins. And this is a stamp and there is a die, so you're not having to cut these out. And then we're going to bump these two up right here next to it. So we're getting there. And then we're going to stamp the Gather Together on the smaller circle. And we're going to do it in early espresso. Get that there. Let me find my Gather Together. There we go. Make sure it's inked up pretty good. And I'm going to get that in the middle. Give it a little pressure and then pull it straight up. Popping in to say a quick hi. Very nice up here for sure. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. They're going to put some, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Going to put some adhesive on the back of this. And then stick it to the center of this early espresso circle that's slightly larger. And it's slightly larger for a reason. There we go. I have glue on my tips there. And that is all the inking we're doing. So let me get that ink out of the way. Bring the card back. And then we'll go ahead and start building our little leafy thing going here. So I'm going to take all the like ones and do them all at the same time. And I think that's all of those. Let's rough these up. This is actually good hand therapy too. So if you are, if you're like me and you have kind of arthritic hands, using your fingers and your hands really does help. Excuse me. I need to take a drink. Hold on. My mouth was starting to get dry. So let me go ahead and do these. And then those two are the same. There we go. We got 3 different leaves that we're working with here. That's why it's kind of, I want to try to keep the like leaves the same when I do this. And as far as the colors, there's no real rhyme or reason as far as putting the colors down. I would just alternate so that it kind of shows a bouquet of different colors. So I'm going to turn it that way so I can see it. And then here we go with some more glue dots, guys. Glue dots are our friends. And I want to put it far enough up here where I can leave room for the hoop to happen right down here. But I'm going to do the leaves first, and then we'll do this one. So I'll try to get these on quick. Go. Let's do this one. I hope I get enough. Maybe that's where that extra brown one came from a while ago. Y'all know me, I'm always losing something on this desk, and it's not that big. Just layer them. Maybe that was the one that, yeah, I think that one was supposed to be on here. Hold on, I'm grabbing it. Let's do this. I like your card. I find it hard to use my wood grain papers. Take some of that off. I know the wood grains are, well, that's a lot of our papers. Once you open up a pack and you realize how pretty the cards and colors are, you're like, you don't want to give anything up. You don't want to cut it. You don't sit there and look at it because it's so pretty. We have good quality paper too, by the way, you guys. There's some quality behind it, which is what I like, because you can't go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and try to match our paper. And then I'm going to put this one in the middle. Seems like I have an extra one, but that's 3 of them on there. It got confusing when I was cutting and I started seeing leaves everywhere last night. So there we go. And we'll get that one in the middle. And then as far as the hoop, the hoop is supposed to go around the circle, the inside circle, and then we're going to put it up here with some glue dots behind there just to help hold it down, and then the ribbon will help cover up the top part of that. So you can kind of see. Mine looks like it's a little more down than the other one, but let's see. We'll go for it here. So I'm going to put this down with some, where's my black ones? There we go, with some black ones. Get that down. I'm just going to put some all around the edge. And this is where the black ones come in handy, so that you don't see white underneath it. It's more concealed. Get that on there. Get that centered. And then as far as your glue dots on here, you can, bear with me in my hands here, you can get the glue dots on the gold loop. I'm using the gold loop to pick them up, and I'm doing 3 just to make sure there's plenty that hold it down right there over that circle. That'll help hold it down. And then to get this to stay down, and it looks like I got a smudge, so I'll give away the better card, of course. There's a smudge. I'm gonna roll these up, and I'm barely gonna try to touch them because I just want to get this underneath the bottom part of that loop. See if I can get underneath there here, because I wanted to try to be concealed, but I just want it on there enough to where it actually will help hold it down. And of course I can't pick anything up with these nails right now. Go. You might see some of the glue dot, but if you help press it up against the bottom of the loop, it just looks like it's part of the bottom of the loop. And then we're going to take our ribbon, make a bow, get that piece in there, pull it down, try to fix my bows. My grandma taught me a lot about making bows, but obviously none of it stuck. She owned a florist in McKinney, and I think the building is still there, but everyone has passed on except for maybe a cousin and an aunt. I still have an aunt that lives in McKinney, but those were the days growing up in a florist, watching your grandma make flowers, grandpa doing deliveries. Y'all ever were in McKinney, it was Kaufman's Florist that was down on Tennessee Street. And this ribbon is like really, all right, this will be my sample. So I'm gonna cut this. And then let me get some glue dots behind the back of this, and then I'll trim it once it gets on there. But yeah, she had a greenhouse, and there were cats in there, and it was just fun watching her in her little, I think it was FTD, her FTD green florist jacket. And we'll do it this way. So I'm going to change this one up. That one. There we go. And there is card number 4. It's slightly different. The one I did is a little lower, and I got a smudge on there somehow, but so I'll end up giving away the one here on the left. And then, oh, this one had an insert too. Let me go ahead and put that one on there. Just because of the early espresso cardstock. You wouldn't be able to write on here unless you were writing in something metallic to see what you're writing. But on this, at least you can stamp something, an additional sentiment on the back of that one. So let me bring all 4 cards back. Let me get all that out of the way. Card number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. I think that's number 1. Set. I don't know what that is. It's an adhesive. Okay, there you go. Card number 1. There's all 4 cards, guys. Using the Gather Together bundle, but I'm also using some dies from the Forever Fern, the Flourishing dies. So there's some extra dies in there. And then the ribbon comes from the Gilded Autumn Suite. And then some of this designer series paper. But keep in mind, when you get the kit, if you place an order and you get the free kit, you don't have to have all of this paper. All the paper and these die cuts, the leaves, the ribbon, pieces of ribbon, all that comes in your kit. All you have to have is the stamp set and the inks in order to ink it up. And actually for all of these, you could use one ink. You could clearly get away with using probably early espresso on all of these sentiments here. So you don't have to go buy 4 unless you're trying to build your collection, of course. But definitely all the paper, everything's already cut for you. You're basically just assembling. So the kit also comes with the tutorials. And then there will also be a complete supply list as well. So if you're not sure what stamp set this was, in the tutorials it says the name, and it says the name of the dies and the name of the thread. But as far as the item number and the price and things like that, that's where the supply list comes in handy to have. That way if you're placing an order and you're like, I love this ribbon, then you know the item number for that ribbon, or you know the item number for the dies or the paper, whatever. So yeah, glad you all could join me this afternoon. I hope you like the cards. Of course, these cards I'll show every single week, and today is the only day of the month that you'll see, what was I going to say, that you'll get 4 cards, because at the beginning of the month is when I do the 4 cards for the month, and then every week after that I'm doing a different set and then giving away that set. But you'll see these every week because I'll remind you about the online ordering special. So I'm going to get the camera pointed down. And whew, there we go. I stand up to do those, and sometimes it's like, whoa, I'm ready to sit down. So, all right, you guys, that's all I have today. Thank you, Jessica. They are awesome. And these, other than maybe the third one, I would say these are more probably for avid crafters, but that doesn't mean a beginner one couldn't do it. It would just take a little time to go through with the beginner, because all of the prep work that I did, that's using the die cutting machine, which, by the way, we are going to be able to pre-order as demonstrators the new die cutting machine on the 4th as well. So we're pretty excited about that because we've been waiting a long time. And that's another reason I didn't want to bring out the Big Shot, just because there's a lot of die cutting going on with these cards. But the leaves really do help the cards pop and just scream, fall, get here, hurry, take over summer as quick as you can get here. So, but if you ever need any help with anything, feel free to message me. You can contact me through my blog. You can contact me through this Facebook group, or if you have my email. And if you want to be on my email communication list, that's actually the best way to be up to date on everything that's going on, because that's where I send out the communications for events, whether it's an event that I'm sponsoring or an event that Stampin' Up! Is sponsoring, sales, clearance rack, when the clearance rack gets updated, but most importantly, it just helps keep you up to date with whatever's going on. And but that's completely up to you. But if you want to be on that list, just message me and let me know. And otherwise, I will see you next Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon, wherever you are, or your evening. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.